Hey everybody, Mike Steele here, Barbecue Champs Academy live in the house tonight. Man, we got Mr. Chicken Fried Barbecue in the house. It's going to be a good one. Mr. Lee
Yes, sir.
Hickle, how you doing, brother?
Man, I am warm down here in South Texas.
Yeah, kiss my
Man,
butt. Aaron, how about you, man?
Man, we're surviving. Things starting to kind of melt up, and
Oh,
the temperature's starting to climb back up there a little bit. Getting out of them at 6 and 7 degree nights, and get back in the
yeah.
20s.
yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it was cold. I mean, we got down to 19 a couple of nights, but man, it was just the freaking ice. I mean,
Right.
that's Saturday night, early Saturday morning when it came in. We got, I don't know, 2 inches of just ice fell. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just. I had a video and I held my sleeve up and said, Lee, this is what we get. And you could see the ice pebbles, just the sleet just bouncing off my jacket,
Yeah.
and it just covered everything. I mean,
yeah.
we got inch and a half, 2 inches of ice on my driveway. And then I don't know, a few hours, about 7 or 8 hours later, it started lightly snowing. It put about an inch and a half of snow on top of everything. And then, man, next thing you know, it's just it's just all melted together, and we could go ice skating outside. So,
Friday morning I was at Tech, Red Raider Meats,
yep,
and it was raining in Midland. It was already raining, but by the time I got to Lubbock, it had changed over to sleet. So it was
yeah,
already sleeting. It was coming down sideways. And I was talking to some guys there. I was out there trying to hurry up and get everything unloaded and get it inside their shop. So I get those kids out of the 'cause they weren't really dressed for it. I'm just in a sweatshirt and shorts like always. And
Mhm.
and they're sitting there like, man, it's just kind of this is crazy. I said, "Hey, just buckle down, man. It's gonna get
yeah,
worse. Just
yeah,
before it gets better." So by the time we got back, it already started snowing Friday evening, and we were about
yeah.
24 hours ahead of you guys.
Yeah. It moved through y'all first, then it headed our way. But I mean, it's finally starting to melt some, but I still got spots in my driveway. It's just solid ice. So where the sun hit today, it actually melted some of it. I can see the concrete, but the yard and stuff is still just ice, snow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I think it's going to probably start melting a lot of it off because we're finally getting up to like 50. And then I think Thursday it's supposed to get to 55. So I'm tired of this mess. It needs to go.
If you want
So,
snow, it'll be in your shadows.
yeah, you ain't kidding. So, anyway, well, I'm glad you guys did good. We got a few folks with us. Lamar, thank you for joining us from South Dakota. Let's see. The
Come
high this
on.
week is supposed to be 17's the high. Man, y'all can keep that crap. So, Lee, Mike, Aaron checking in for Wichita, Wichita Airport. All right, good
Okay.
deal. He's a pilot, so I don't. I guess he may be flying. Who knows? So, oh, Joe, we appreciate you being here, brother. Mr. Dirk, hope you're doing all right. Mr. Craig, glad to have you with us tonight. Mr. Mark, Mr. Frank, appreciate you being here. Snow-covered Pennsylvania, 14 inches. No, 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 you can have that stuff. So, what's up, champs?
There you
Enjoy
go.
the thaw, man. We're trying, man.
Yes,
I'll be,
baby.
I'll be glad when this crap is out of here. So, what's going on, Brandon? Appreciate you being here. Todd, thank you for joining us. Mr. Gordon, we appreciate you being here from Cleveland. I'm sure y'all probably got plenty of snow up there. So, Slade, thank you for joining us as well. I don't know, man. I hear there's a big cook-off in Texas this weekend. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it don't get much bigger than San Antonio. That's the biggest. People think Houston's the biggest, but it's not, is it? I mean, it's San Antonio is the biggest. Matter of fact, I think it's
The
the
second.
second largest competition in the world behind the American Royals. So,
Right.
I know y'all be bumping like right at 300, 290 to 305 teams, and man, that's a lot of teams. So. But we got a guy on tonight, man. He knows a little bit about the rodeo. That's for dang sure. And well, it's like called him yesterday. I was like, man, we need to get you on. Got the rodeo coming, man. So anyway,
Well, this guy right here had a first place
yeah,
brisket.
yeah, he had a first place brisket.
Reserve grand.
Aaron's done pretty well. So I figured this would be a perfect night, and you're cooking it as well, Lee. So. Man,
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about all things rodeo tonight. That's for dang sure. And
I didn't get any black and gold banners whatsoever until my 5th year of cooking the rodeo, and I got two. I got a
wow,
reserve grand and I got a first place brisket. And the next year I got three. And the next year, I mean, it was like I've gotten them every year, but it's not bragging. It's just that I told myself I'm gonna give up.
yeah,
This is my 5th year. I'm giving up. If I don't make a banner this year, I'm not coming back.
yeah, yeah,
And just kind of change things. But
yeah. Well, we certainly do want to thank our partners that always help us out. Gunnar Wilhelm Knives, thank them for all their support over the years from day one. B&B Charcoal, Mr. Lee, tip the hat. There we go. Appreciate those guys. Daigle's Barbecue Rubs or glazes and sauce and everything. Miss Gail, she's such a sweetie. check their stuff out as well. And Raider Red Meats, if you're needing some Prairie Fresh ribs, pork, they've got it. They've even got some, I think she even said they got starting to carry some Wagyu briskets. I can't remember. But they've got
some in their case the other day.
Yeah,
I don't know what
so-
brand they
One thing, I
were.
went and got a little bit of special artillery for this weekend's chicken. It's got a little bit of cluckutta in it. I'm just saying.
There you go. Cut us some good
Man.
stuff, man.
Got me a second place
Some
chicken
good-
last year behind old Bill.
Heck yeah.
Just
Well,
go get a little bottle of it.
Speaking of Mr. Bill, Mr. Rodeo himself, I mean, this guy don't need much introduction. I mean, it's Bill Purvis, it's chicken fried barbecue. What's going
What's up,
on, big
Bill?
fella?
Man, it's rodeo week, man.
Heck
It's
yeah,
exciting.
baby. You ain't kidding. It's banner time for you, man. You have done very well down there the last few years, and we're always excited to see you get there, walk the big stage. And, man, I see 1, 2, I see 3, maybe 4 of them banners hanging up back there. Is that what I'm seeing? So
I counted them today, and I counted 11 banners.
11 freaking banners from San Antonio. You get out of here. Are you serious?
Man, San Antonio has, knock on wood, they've been
Yeah.
good to me.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Bill, and that's 4 years of
remember-
cooking.
Yeah, 4 years.
Oh, dang.
Dang, 4 years and 11 banners. That's
And I
freaking saying
remember, I remember talking to Aaron because we were kind of talking about this backstage, and I would just assume that Aaron walks every year. You know what I mean? Aaron's one of the best cooks in Texas, and
Absolutely.
man, we're sitting there, and he's before awards. He's like, "It's my 5th year, Bill. I ain't never gotten a banner," and I'm like, "You got to be shitting me,"
Yeah.
And of course, there's 300 teams, and they're only calling out. They only give 10 banners to 3 meets.
That's it.
So I was like, damn. So when I think my first year, I got a 2nd place brisket, and man, I was tickled pink just to have a banner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it wasn't until Tuesday that they told me, "Hey, we're sending you a rib one too."
Yeah. The only guy to ever get a reserve
tell you
grand
what.
champion on a Tuesday.
And hats off to IBCA for making it right. You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
And,
That's it.
And good for those guys that got it back.
Yeah.
They did the right thing. By going through the trash and finding my rib card and go, yeah, we forgot a score, and they made it right. So good for those guys to get the contest back and have another go at it. So
Yep.
'cause I'm pretty sure that they lost it just because of the award ceremony, but
Right.
they went Lone Star for a couple of years, and man, they're back with IBCA. So man, good for them for making it right, and good that they got it back.
That's exactly right. 100%. Well, ain't no doubt. It's going to be a good one. Mr. Jordan, how you doing, brother? Good luck to everyone hitting the rodeo. Yeah, I'm surprised Jordan ain't running down there for that.
He might be. I don't know. He might be cooking it.
Are you coming
I'm
down
sure
there,
he would
Jordan?
love to. I'm sure he would love to, but you can't buy your way in anymore.
That's right.
You
That's
can't-
exactly
they don't have
right.
open registration.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I was
Oh,
talking
my
to Donald
gosh.
King today because Donald King got in because the carnivals are gone now, right? So now I guess it's more open spaces. But he said it was $5,000 plus $1,000 donation to
Oh,
get
wow.
his footprint, and then from now on it's $1,500 a year entry fee.
Okay.
So
Wow.
$6,000 to get.
Yeah,
a
you
spot.
got to. 4 years ago, that's what happened to me. I lost it sold out so fast. I had to buy a sponsorship
Yeah.
to get in 22. So 23 is when I when I started paying cash for kids again. So yeah, it took
Okay.
me. I lost it one year. I had to get back into it. I sponsored it.
Wow.
It's a lot of
That's
money.
crazy. That's a lot of money. It really is. But it's a very prestigious
Yeah,
barbecue
that's a lot
competition.
cheaper than Houston. Houston costs
But it was only $2,500 then.
Yeah.
So 2,500 got you a low key sponsorship, and little
Right.
guy thing, and then we got to move back into the normal road. So
Okay. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Wow. Well, Bill, man, look, how many years have you been cooking rodeo now?
I think I've cooked it 4 times. Yeah.
4 times. Okay.
4 times. So,
And you're cooking on your own because you got in because of what? How did you get in?
because I won Austin Rodeo this year.
Okay.
So that got me a free spot at San Antonio and
Okay.
a free spot at Houston. So
Okay. Okay.
because San Antonio, Houston, and Austin, they all
If
share.
you,
So
if you win
you
one,
win
you
any of those, you get to cook the other 2. So,
Oh man, that is sweet.
yeah.
Man,
So-
alive.
Bill, is
Well-
this 2 years in a row that you've had to go?
What's that?
Is this 2 years in a row that you've had your own spot then? You had your own spot last year?
No, last year I
Oh,
cooked.
okay.
I cooked with the year before I had my own spot because I was the returning grand champion.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
that's right.
Okay,
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was
so
last year. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
last year it was I just cooked under my own spot. But the year before, they gave me 2 free spots because of I'd won San Antonio. That got me a free spot, but I also won Austin.
Oh, yeah.
So they said you can have 2 spots, but you just can't be the head cook for both of them. So I said, okay, list my wife as the head cook for chicken fried. You know, so.
And how did she end up doing, Bill?
Good.
She ended up getting 2 calls. She got a chicken call, like an 8th place chicken call, and I was like, son of a bitch, she's done beat me in chicken. But I ended up getting 1st place chicken that year. So she got 8th, and then she got, I think it was 7th or 8th chicken, and I got 1st. And then when it came to brisket, and she got like a 7th or 8th brisket, and it was Lone Star. So,
right.
So she didn't have very many points with 2 calls,
Right. Right.
And I was like, man, they like that brisket. Man, obviously, man, I tasted both briskets before they were turned in.
Right.
Man, and I felt like mine was a better brisket. So,
right.
But man, I didn't even make final table.
Golly.
Yeah. I didn't even realize Bill had won 1st place chicken that year because I got 2nd chicken, and I was so excited going up there and get out of my way, kind of getting all your stuff done. Then I look back and I was like, hey, won 1st place. I just seen that's when Bill was already up there in the front, and I was already walking towards the back. So that was a good year.
Hey,
yeah,
look,
the last couple of good years.
Here's a great question, and I never even thought of this when Travis said, controversial question. Why is rodeo season so big? What's the history that makes it so big? Does anybody know why that thing has just become such the beast that it is?
And all the rodeos, I think all the rodeos in Texas are just been historically just big events, big team counts, and man, exclusive to where they're hard to get in, So,
yeah.
And I think Houston, obviously, man, that's one where, man, just legacy teams, and San Antonio is now the same way. Where if you're not a legacy team, man, you got to spend a bunch of money to try to get in there.
Right, right. Well, let's talk a little bit about coming into the rodeo, Bill. I mean, you have obviously figured something out. I mean, to cook 4 times there, to walk away with 11 banners, and just to tell you how tough that is. Aaron, like he said, is probably one of the top, I would say, top 5 cooks in the state of Texas. Sure. Hands down, right? And I mean, how many years did you cook there, Aaron, before you got your first banner?
I cooked 4 years with no banners.
With no banners.
My 5th year is when I said I'm giving up.
And then that's when you got one. Yeah.
Got 2, yeah.
Got 2. And then here Bill rolls in there. And man, they like your food, Bill. I mean, 4 years, 11 banners. I mean, that's probably almost unheard of. I don't know of anybody that's won that many banners in 4 years' time.
Man, I don't know either, but I do know the rodeos, whether it's Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and all of them I've seen because I got the first chicken at San Antonio, I got the first chicken in Houston, and then I've won Austin twice. So for whatever reason, these rodeos seem to, so far, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I've landed on the right table at the right time. So
all right, so I'm going to tell you what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You ready? It's the hat. It's the hat. I mean, I'm just telling you right now, you need to get those hats. You need to put about a $500 price tag on them, and you need to sell them bad boys. And you better have at least 100 of them.
Man, I broke the hat out at Seguin. I broke the hat out at Seguin, and sure enough, man, I ended up with a 8th or 9th place chicken call, and feels like, oh shit, he's wearing the damn hat.
Well, Bill, I don't know, man.
It stopped after that chicken call with the hat on.
That's all right. So. It's that deadgum chicken that's been pretty deadgum special for you. That is for sure. So I don't know. It's built in the name, man. What can you say? Chicken fried barbecue. So coming into this event, I mean, Bill, obviously we know how you do. We know what you do. But for our audience listening, I mean, what's your mindset coming in? What's your prep coming in? You know, it's a big competition. I know you probably are going to do the same thing that you always do. But I'm sure you have to kind of look, it's just me against how many ever boxes are on that table. I think that's what a lot of people get tripped up. What's your mindset coming into something like this?
Man, it's the same as every week. You know, I mean, but every week, you know, I'm looking, you know, I think a lot of people probably don't know how much time people spend, or, you know, like Aaron spends, or me, or Phil, or some of the top cooks in Texas. I don't think people understand how much time we go through rifling through meat to bring. And it doesn't matter if I'm going to hold them, hit them the other weekend, man, I want to make sure that I'm not just picking up ribs out of, I'm getting them from HEB or Walmart, right. But man, I'm hitting several different stores to make sure I find nice quality marbled meat. I mean, right. It's just, right. And that's the first win you got to do, is show up to the contest with some of the best meat. If you can show up to the contest with some of the best meat, man, you got to it's a whole bunch of little wins. You know, the first win is, man, if you show up with bullshit meat, and you're behind the eight ball, because Aaron's going to show up with good meat.
Yeah.
Pickle's going to show up with good meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Phil's going to, all the great cooks, they're not just running to HEB the day before and grabbing, you know, whatever rack of ribs they see, you know?
Right.
So, and even when, you know, I've got ribs, but today, what am I doing? I'm hitting a bunch of more stores to see if I can one up what I have.
Right.
You know, I've got great ribs, but man, I'm going to go ahead and stop at a couple more stores today just to see if I can find better ribs.
Right.
So,
man,
I think a part of it, but I do that with just about every contest. And that's the reason why I probably got 30 racks of ribs in my freezer that I'll show up with, you know, 6 or 7 racks of ribs. I'll cook 3 and the rest get chunked into my freezer. You know?
Right. Right. You know, I tell people all the time, don't get out meated. You know, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Don't get out meated. If you're going to show up at a competition, you better bring the best that you've got. Because if you don't, somebody else is. And then you're, like you said just a minute ago, you're already behind the 8 ball. So, I think that is, there's your big pro tip right there, man. Barbecue listening from San Angelo. I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, you have to have good, and you're right. You can't just go to one store. Like if I'm starting to look for ribs, I mean, we got 3 Walmarts here that carry Prairie Fresh. Man, I'm going to hit them. Yeah. And at one time I'd kind of panic. Like, oh man, this is a pretty good one. And, you know, as you start building a few of them up in your inventory, then you can kind of back off a little bit and go, yeah, I think I can find something better than this one, you know, and you can start kind of cherry picking them and start buying them a little early. Cause it seems like to me, and I don't know if you guys do it, but it seems like to me, we really are starting to see the pigs a little bit bigger, a little bit heftier, a little bit more marbling in the meat this time of the year. And it seems like, man, once about April hits, those things start to go downhill. And I think a lot of it is just because now the demand from the public is just, they're so quick that they're just having to get the dead gum pigs out faster. Are y'all seeing
they get that winter feed. Well, they get that winter feed, right? So they're in their slaughter yards and they're not just getting whatever, they're fattened up before they go to slaughter. So you get that better fed grain. And so that meat gets a little darker red. Doesn't look that light. There's a light pink, watery pink. I call it. It's like a watery pink. Yep. When you get those, I stay away from those. I want that good, bright, dark, you know, vibrant red, you know, on the ribs or pork or something like that.
Right.
So that, you in the wintertime, you get a better feed program because there's not as much grass out there, not much rain. And so the summertime, it's a little narrower because it's hotter and then, you know, they kind of get in there. So yeah, you kind of, your feed program gets a little bit better in the wintertime than it does in the summertime.
It makes sense.
And for some reason, whenever it's like the time to go to the Jack, man, that time of year, man, it's always hard to find good ribs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That time of the year, it's, you know, if you're going to the Jack, man, find ribs early because usually around, you know, what is it? September, October, man, they seem to be a little thin.
Yeah.
You
know? They're pretty thin.
Bill, how long will you let your racks of ribs sit in the freezer before you use them for a comp? 1 month, 30 days, 6 weeks?
Man, I mean, usually I will put them in the freezer, and believe it or not, a lot of times if I buy ribs, say on a Monday, if I find some good ribs on a Monday, I'll throw them in the freezer. I don't want them in my refrigerator all week. I'm real weird on pork, you know, and I'll take them out the day before the comp and put them in the fridge. And sometimes I get to a comp and they're frozen, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that they're frozen. I'll defrost them, and plenty of people have been in my rig over the last few months and seen frozen ribs, sitting on the counter waiting for them to defrost. And man, I haven't noticed one lick of difference with defrosting them the day of and shooting them and
I've
going.
gone up to a year. I've gone up to a year in the freezer.
Yeah.
All right, there's your answer.
Never had a problem.
There's your answer, Travis, right there. And David Bosca, David Bosca told me that even chicken feed changes seasonally. Yeah, it probably does.
Yeah, sure it does.
Yeah. So usually what I'm doing is this time of the year, I'm running through, starting now up to probably about March or April. I'm trying to find about at least 25, 30, 25, 24 racks of ribs. If I can find 24 racks of ribs, that's 8 competitions. And a lot of times, if I've got really good thick ones, a lot of times, especially if it's only 30 or 40 teams, I'm going to if I got 2 excellent racks of ribs, man, I'm perfectly fine just cooking 2. And I've just keep some craft paper that I order from Uline. And, man, this is a great one. This is a great one. This one's kind of okay, right? And I stack them up. I wrap them up with that craft paper, and then I tape it and I put it in the freezer. And it kind of helps keep them from getting freezer burned because they're wrapped in paper. And man, I've got enough ribs that's going to last me for at least 8 competitions. And then I'm steadily continuing to look until they finally just weed out. So I don't mind cooking a rib that's 5-6 months old. I've never seen any different. So let's see. Let's see what we've got here for chicken.
But you're real picky about your chickens too, though, because you won't buy your chickens if they're close to the use-by date, right, Mike?
No, I mean, I'm the same thing with ribs. I mean, people don't realize it, and I've learned this. It ain't by experience. I mean, when we have David Earhart on here from Prairie Fresh, they give you a date. That packing date, the time that rib was done, and the packing date that's on it's 21 days. And they'll tell you if the bone's in the meat, that's about all you got. You're going to get 21 days. You start getting close to that date, and that rib is going to start to get a little bit rank on you. So anytime that I go to Walmart, if I'm buying ribs, I'm looking for that date. Like I went in there the other day, it was 3 days before they was going to expire. Ain't no way I'm touching that rib. Even if I take that rib and go freeze it, by the time I take it, thaw it out. Now, unless if you're like Bill, you thaw it out at the comp, you didn't really lose anything. But I don't even want a rib to get that close. So ideally, I like to have a rib that is at least 7 days. Sometimes I buy 5 if it's really, really good rib. But ideally, I like about a 7-day window, and sometimes I can find a 10-day window before it's expiring. And then as soon as I get those ribs, man, I immediately take them, wrap them up, put them in the freezer. So you got to be really careful with pork. People don't realize pork can get pretty rancid pretty quick if you ain't careful.
We ain't eating it.
Yeah, but I ain't going to get out meated.
Yeah, you get that bone rot, and it just starts to really deteriorate. And a piece of meat without the bone in it will last a lot longer, right? But that bone starts to break it down. Beef's the same way. So, I never really. I freeze them as soon as I get them. But my problem is they'll sit in the freezer, and I've got 8 or 10 slabs, man, that are hammers,
Right.
4 5s, and they look just like immaculate, right? And then I'll see, look at that. Oh, look at that. And I'll start pulling 2 more fresh ones out of the store. I'm like, okay, I'll use these this weekend. No stuff. So next thing you know, 6 months later, you still got those 10 or 15 rats up there. You're like, hey, what am I going to do with these? And then all of a sudden you got the dead. Boom, there's 2 more hammers. You're like, man, so it's,
you're right. You're exactly
struggle
right.
is real. The struggle is real.
It happens,
real. All right, so I've got a question for you, Bill. I mean, you're talking about, we got Aaron over here talking about hammers. I mean, what is your ideal? Do you like ideal weight range? And I know a lot of that is it a long rib? Is it a wider rib? I mean, do you like a really good thick rib, or what is it that you're kind of looking for in your rib other than marbling? We know that's important.
Yeah, marbling in thickness. I don't care about the bones. I don't care. I know there's some people that hung up on straight bones. Man, I could care less about about if the bones are straight or not. And I'll look at the weight, but man, the weight it can be deceptive. Some ribs can have, they can be a lot longer of a rib. Yeah. And it's got a bigger weight than one that's a lot shorter. I mean, I've had some that were, 3 1/4, and they're little short stubby ribs, but man, you feel them. and they're thick.
Yeah.
And so I'll put my mitts on them and feel those ribs kind of where I'm going to be turning in. And if it feels thick there without including the skirt underneath it,
you get
that's what I'm going for, because man, I'm not turning in the whole rack. I'm only going to turn in one little section of that rack, and man, I feel it to make sure it's thick. You know,
I had that happen the other day. I found one that's like 3.5 pounds. I was like, and you're right. Your first thing you're thinking is, man, this is an awfully light rack, but when I looked at it, it probably didn't have but maybe 12 bones. I mean, it was short and it was tapered on that end, but man, the dang ribs were freaking like hammers, and I was like, don't worry about the weight. They're thick, heavy ribs, and that's what you're looking for. So
sometimes the weight doesn't matter. It's the feel, right? It's just it's first 2 or 3 inches in there where you're kind of feeling that thickness of it, and the weight because you don't know if that's the real weight. That tag could have came off another rack of ribs that was frozen and it just rubbed off. And you think, so you got to feel it. You know, you do this enough times, you'll know if they're telling you the truth or not. Sometimes I went to the produce section and weighed my chickens because I thought they were wrong. I thought the chicken was just too small for that. And it was right. You know, it was like, hey, it was a 4.5, you know, instead of a 5, 5.4 or whatever. So, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Robert Smith, he's got his restaurant, First Class Barbecue,
right?
And he's bringing in Prairie Fresh by the case, and I've gotten ribs from him plenty of times, and none of those have weights on them.
Yeah,
So, man, they come in a box, and man, they're not labeled with a weight. So, when you go in there, and I think Robert's won Team of the Year in ribs twice. With no weights on the ribs, just going by feel.
Yeah. So. Get you some nice big thick ones. And I'll tell you right now, Aaron's talking about a chicken. Every time I go buy a chicken, if it's at like a grocery store that's got a scale by it, like Brookshire's or somebody like that, I get that chicken, I feel it. And Jason Pettis can tell you, I can pretty much grab a chicken. I'm going to tell you about what that weight is, but I'll grab that thing and I'll go weigh them every time. I'll go weigh them. And we had a issue here with our Brookshire's. I would get that chicken. I mean, chicken says this thing is like, 4.9 pounds. I swear this chicken's like 5.5 freaking pounds. Man, I go stick it up on the dang scale, and this thing, every one of them were like a half a pound off. Right. And I was like, hey guys, y'all might need to get y'all scales recalibrated, but they were coming in already tagged for them. And they were off anywhere between 0.3 and 0.5 of a pound, which, man, that's quite a bit. So sometimes you better check that stuff because, man, it can get you in trouble if all of a sudden you think you got one size chicken and next thing you know, you got one that's way bigger than what you was expecting. So,
Bill, can you give a free technique if you have some ribs that have crooked bones and it comes, it's on your cutting board and it's time to cut the ribs? Do you cut through the bone or you cut the angle and then cut the knuckle off to square it up?
Yeah, I don't cut through the bone. I cut on the angle, and then I'll twist them around and cut them off at the end, to make them straight. But I usually, I want to cut between the bones. I'm not cutting a bone.
Right.
I mean, every once in a while I get into a bone because I do cut them, and I cut my meat side up. So I just kind of look for the humps and cut down on the humps, meat side up. And then, usually CBA and, it's a little different, I think, if you're doing KCBS, because I'm a lot more selective on what ribs go in the box in KCBS to where in CBA and, IBCA, it's, I'm going to cook 3 racks of ribs. The best rack is going on top.
Mm-hmm.
4 bones out of that best rack, and then the next best rack is going on bottom. But I think, a lot of guys in KCBS, sometimes, man, you only got 6 good ribs, and you may need to get 2 or 3 from one rack and 2 or 3 for the other rack. So a lot of those guys will make sure they cook the same, if it's a left-hand rack versus a right-hand rack, they'll cook the same rack, all left hands or all right hands, where for me, I don't care, because if I got a left hand on the bottom and a right hand on the top, man, I don't care. I'm not really mix matching 2 ribs from this rack, and unless I say that, watch me have to do that this weekend. Unless I can't find, if I don't feel like, because man, they're only going to. I mean, this weekend there's only 5 judges. They're only going to take 5 bites out of 8 ribs.
Right.
So chances are, and most of the time they're going on top.
Yeah.
And it's 5 bites. So if my first, second, and third rib is pretty good, man, we're sending it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I still have a hard time cutting meat side up, my bones. You know, I got to flip that sucker upside down and look. I have a hard time getting it just right. So
And
good for you.
sometimes I'll hit a bone, and then sometimes I'll take the thermopin out and use it, kind of feel where that bone is before I make a cut. If I've jacked one up, like shit, man, I really like this rack, and I just hit the goddamn bone,
Right.
Then I'll try to just cut that bone out and start over, on that rack.
There you go.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and two, I'm not trying to cook the thickest rib I can find. I just want a nice meaty rib. It doesn't have to be. I don't think any one of the racks that I have this weekend are over 4 pounds. They're in the high threes, like a 3.7, 3.8. Because I do think there's something to be said for that meat that's on the bone. And to me, I think it tastes better. Meat that's close to the bone tastes better than, a big 4.5 pounder that, they cut a piece and they're not getting any of that meat that's attached to the bone. So I think
sense.
the bone, meat that's close to the bone to me tastes the best.
That makes sense.
So I just want to give them a nice thick rib. It doesn't have to be a lunker per se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that old saying.
And the big lunkers on the end, because I feel like that, man, I want them to get, when they take a bite, I want them to get from the top of the rib all the way down to the bone. And if it's too thick, man, then they're carving some off the top, and I just don't think that's a good bite.
Yeah. There's that old saying, closer to the bone, the sweeter the meat, or something like that, or the better the meat. I remember an old saying like that, and it's always kind of been true. I do think it is. The closer it gets to that bone, the better that meat probably is. So, all right. So Darrell Walker puts someone that is their first time going to the San Antonio Rodeo for the first time. Okay, Darrell, you're talking in spades, baby.
So I'm saying it's for someone that's the first time to the rodeo.
Put someone that's going the first time to the rodeo, the San Diego. What is a good tip for the cook?
Man, I think you can't overthink it. That's the biggest thing is these. I mean, it's still single round. No matter if I go to a 24 team IBCA, my food's judged by 5 judges. Yep. If I go to a 300 team, it's judged by 5.
5 judges. That's it.
It doesn't matter. And I've heard it before. People saying, especially with like the Royal, man, they've got big. If you've been cooking 18-pound briskets and now you go to the Royal and you've ordered a 23 or a 25-pound brisket, man, that's not your normal brisket that you cook.
Right.
So, and stick with your normal. To me, just stick with normally what you do. That way, you're not changing too many variables.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I forgot who we had somebody on the show here not too long ago, and I said, like big competitions, what's your thinking? You got, 400 teams. He's like, it's me against 6 people.
Yeah,
that's it. And it just makes sense.
It's easy to psych yourself up and think,
yeah,
man, I got to have a monster brisket for this content. I mean, don't get me wrong, man, you need a nice brisket. You want a nice brisket. But if you're used to cooking, nice 18, 20-pound briskets, man, to me, there's no need to go get a 24-pounder.
Right.
And then my timeline's going to be a little bit off. I'm not going out cooking, 14-pound briskets every week. Maybe KP, Kit Pope might do that,
Right.
And man, but that's what he's going to do at the Royal or San Antonio. Kit's going to cook his normal stuff,
Yeah.
He's not going to go show up with a 24-pounder and now all of a sudden, man, this thing's taking an hour longer, and
yeah, 100%. All right, guys,
Aaron, can you hear us? Aaron, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Aaron. I thought something happened just a minute ago. I thought I had lost him. We had this issue last week. Aaron, log off, man. Hold on. Talk again real quick, Aaron. Barely can even hear you, man. It's like you
go on your phone. It's go phone.
Hey guys, we're halfway through this. Now look, here's what we want everybody to do. We got 73 folks listening tonight. Do me a favor.
Is that better?
There we go. Yeah, do me a favor, guys. Go in and hit the share button. If you're watching on Facebook, which almost everybody I'm seeing is on Facebook, it's right there in front of you in that bottom right corner. If you would, do me a favor and hit the share button. It helps us get this out. Man, our shows have been banging here lately, and it helps a lot when we get people like y'all sharing our stuff. So makes it worthwhile. More people we get watching, more information we can give you guys. And man, that's what it's all about. And if anybody's got a question, man, drop it in. I mean, that's what we're trying to help you out a little bit. So
I had a couple
let's
years
see,
ago.
amazing
I
panel
was at
producer.
the Basin Burnout. I'm actually at the West Texas Bass here in Monahans. Henley, JD Henley walks in my trailer and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm cut these ribs. I'm using my pins, like I've always done. I put my pins in, cut down the middle."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You've been doing this too long to be using pins. Why can't you just cut the hump and be done with it?" And I was like, "That's not what I do." So I did my first rack that way. I did 3 racks. And he goes, "Man, come on. Just cut it. Quit. Don't be scared. Just cut it." And I haven't used my pins yet, and that's been about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And, you had to get over that, right? You just kind of cut the hump. You go down the middle of it, the second place rib that day. And he's like, "See, it don't take much. You just got to get over what you used to do and try something new every now and then." But
yeah.
I just did a class. Me and Fred did a class, and I cooked 6 racks of ribs, and I cut every one of them meat side up, and I didn't hit one bone.
There you go.
I'll go this weekend with 3, and I'll jack up one of the racks.
Yeah.
And you get that little one back to that bone that runs sideways with that knuckle in, that you got to kind of hammer through. You got to push down to get it, but every now and then you get that bone. But
no, I know it. That's for sure. That is for sure. So anyway, wow. Well, I know it's going to be a fun event. I mean, I've never got a chance to go down to San Antonio. I know there's probably going to be close to 300 teams again. It's a big, big deal. And I know that you've done very, very well. That's for dang sure. So going into it, don't get outmeated. That's the first thing. Show up with your best. Don't overthink it. It's you against 5 or 6 people. How many ever IBCA puts on a table? I think it's 6, I believe. Any other tips?
They'll put probably 12.
Oh, they'll put 12. Okay.
Yeah.
They'll put 12.
They'll run that many boxes, but only 5 judges.
Only 5
I
judges.
probably will take a little more time cutting my ribs. That's probably one thing I would do at a big contest is making sure I'm not hitting any bones. I might get my thermopin out and just kind of poke around. Oh, there's the bone. Let me make sure I don't hit a bone, especially if. But for the 100%. Most part, it's just send the same stuff at them.
There you go. So flavor profile down there, Bill, on a bigger contest. Obviously you probably want to try to stand out a little bit, right? Do you try to do a little bit? Do you try to go maybe a little bit more savory or maybe a little bit more sweet on something just to be able to stand out just a little bit? Because everybody's going to bring something that's going to be pretty deadgum similar.
Man, I don't. I mean, I heard Clarence Joseph talk about that once where he cooked Houston. He'd gotten a spot. I think Clarence has probably cooked Houston a couple of times. I think he's won San Antonio a couple of times. And I think one of his trips to Houston was, he thought he had to do something extra because it was Houston. And man, you get in there to doing something extra, you done extra yourself out of the walking,
Yeah.
You'll be extra, man, it's extra work, man. You do it every week,
Right, right.
I don't try to do anything extra. I just try to do the same, put in the same tenderness that I normally put in. And man, sometimes my ribs are always real tender. Aaron knows. I mean, he tasted my rib at San Antonio. He goes, "God, some bitches are musty," but every time I cook like this, I'm gonna walk.
Yeah.
So, man, I'll give him.
What do you think? What do you think of this? I said, "It's mushy, baby. She's money. She's gonna work." And he's like, "I was like, what?" I said, "I'm telling you, it's a key word. When you hear that word, it's money." And shit, you're not. He didn't walk. He walked in ribs, and I was like, "Told you."
That's it. Goodness.
Cook everything tender,
Yeah, and, it's a tenderness game. Yeah,
it's just you and 11 other boxes.
On it,
That's what you got to remember. It's just you and 11 other boxes. There's nothing else. So the odds of somebody else on that table cooking a program that we cook or that anybody else cooks exactly the same all the time and is consistent is very hard to do.
Yeah.
So it's just you and 11 other boxes, and just hope like heck the table you land on gives you a very nice score.
Good score.
And let's hope the kid bought the class.
I mean, that's the thing. You just don't want to land on the table with me, Lee, Aaron, Phil, Fred, and if we're all on the same,
hey, that might be one of the highest scoring tables ever, and it could be like the worst scoring table ever.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Lucas, man, glad you joined the party, brother, all the way from the land down under.
I would take that lineup every day. I'll just be honest with you. If I had a table where I'd land on me and Bill, Lee, Phil, Fred, Robert, you name it, you put them all there. We just happen to by luck land on the same table. Man, that's probably the biggest table you're ever going to land on.
Yeah.
And that's okay for now because it's cumulative. But in years past, if we were all on the same table and they're only taking 6 boxes off that table to the next round, man, one of the great cooks is, man, it's just splitting hairs. Somebody's going to be sitting out.
Somebody's going home. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting right there, man. It's going to be a good one. I mean, weather looks like it's going to be pretty good. I know y'all got to be getting amped up. I know Lee's leaving out in the morning. When you heading out, Bill?
Tomorrow. We're heading out tomorrow.
Okay. So. Okay. Aaron, you heading out tomorrow too, man?
Tomorrow morning.
That's going to be good.
The drive over there is when you'll start to it'll sink in a little bit. It's just another Saturday, right? But you'll sink in a little bit.
I see Sweetie in the comments. Is he coming to San Antonio?
Yeah. He's going to cook for somebody. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot my name. Look at it.
Don't worry. You didn't miss much. We love you, Sweetie.
Don't sleep on Sweetie. Don't sleep on it.
Oh, gosh.
I was going to make a comment earlier, Mike. You made a comment about, there was a saying about the bone being close to the meat and the meat being close to the whatever. Yeah. I was going to say the black of the berry and let Sweetie finish the rest of it. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, gosh, Lee. All right, let's see. On Sunday morning ritual is a greasy breakfast and checking to see who was on our table. So,
right? Yeah.
Oh, God.
I seen a question on there that it said me and Bill, but it was about chicken. And it was a few comments ago, but it was about like, is there any pointers for chicken? I think I can't remember exactly what the question was, but man, just don't screw it up.
Yeah,
that's about the only pointer I can give you.
Man, so, I do a Lee Hickle chicken, and and I'm really excited that Lee's cooking it because, man, when I first started, man, I followed Lee around a lot. You know what I mean? And Lee helped me out a lot. But man, some of the stuff that Lee had told me back when I first started was, man, he's cooking these chickens hot as fuck. I mean, he's blasting these damn chickens, and man, that's generally what I do. I try to blast it, man. I'm not scared of 350, 375, 400 on the drum, and man, I'm not turning in a smoked chicken. So if you're out there and you're thinking about low and slow chicken, that's not what wins.
Why do you have your drum so low, Bill?
Yeah,
man, you need to be doing the Lee Hickle 22-minute chicken, or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, God. All right, so John's done asked this question twice. What happened to Chicken Fried?
Man, we're just taking a break. We all got busy schedules. Our promoter got busy. So we'll probably we probably need to do an episode here and there, but it's not going to be a weekly, maybe a monthly or quarterly. But
there you go.
Now our producer got busy, and so we decided, man, to take just a little bit of a break.
Yeah. There you go. Well, we'll make dadgum sure we get you on here every once in a while for sure. So we'll keep it rolling. It's a lot of work. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
It is a lot of work, and it's
you got family, you got grandbabies, you got a lot going on.
Wow. It's a lot. People don't realize it's a lot to put these things together. It ain't just, you show up and you got to get your guests, you got to get everything done, you got to get the link out to everybody, you got to get all the stuff. It's a lot to it, and it
ain't hard for me to try to make it here by 6:45. Usually, just I have to plan way and try to get done.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, me too. It's only one half chicken. Half chicken.
One half chicken. There you go. One half chicken.
One round judgment.
That's it. And that's why we're asking you guys, go hit the share button right now. It helps us. We really started asking that for the last couple of weeks. And I mean, it helps, It sucks to sit here and do it. And half the time nobody shows up. So we do see they watch it afterwards. But man, it's always great to have the live interaction with everybody because we can get questions answered. We can try to really, get some questions from the Pitmasters that we got on and stuff. Man, we've had some great shows. Man, if y'all missed last week's, I think it was our most watched podcast. We have Jamie Gear on last week. Man, I don't know. It was well over 4,000 views. That was just on Facebook. So, and we try to really get some really good information. And man, Bill has just been, obviously, he's an amazing cook, but he's been very gracious to share some of his tips. He's then told you about what to look for in ribs. Don't get out meated. Cook the deadgum chicken hot. Man, if anybody knows about chicken at the dang rodeos, that's the guy right there. I don't know how many first place chickens he's got, but it is a freaking buttload of them. So, anyway.
Hey, Bill and Aaron, this is interesting to me, unless I just misunderstood in the past. I think this might be my fourth year cooking. In the past, didn't the judges have to pay money to eat like round 2,
Still
round
do.
4, but now it's only one round judging, so they don't have to worry about more
Well, they still
judging.
sign up and pay. They still pay to judge.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the reason why San
I'm not
Antonio
really
is.
sure. I don't really know. I don't know if it's they got to pay to judge or just pay to get in. And once they're in, they can judge. I think everybody's got to pay to get in, except for the cook teams. So the public, if they want to come and walk around and shop for a cowboy hat or listen to the music, they got to pay to get in, and that may be the same. To judge, I have no idea. So
Yeah.
So I always thought it went like 3, 4, 5 rounds deep in the past.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was. So the judges were all they were actually doing a sign-up fee, right? And they actually paid a small fee to judge. That's why they like the multiple round judging, because they got more judges, more money. Does that make sense? Now they have to go to one round, but they still have a sign-up. There's still a small amount that they paid, but it's like they're paying to go and judge. I'm sure that gets them in the deal already. You know what I mean? But when they signed up, that's their way to get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So here's the question: is IBCA 1-round judging the same as CBA 1-round judging minus the one judge score that gets dropped? So is it pretty much the same? Is it
Not-
still?
it's
Not
not.
quite. It's
CBA has only 4 designations. IBCA has 5.
Okay. Okay.
So they have another. They've got excellent, very good, good, kind of fair, and poor.
Right,
So you've got
right.
3 denominations that are excellent, very good, and good.
Right.
So you've got 3 interpretations of something that somebody likes.
Right.
So if they taste as very good, and man, they give somebody else excellence. Those are 3-point difference for the most part, just for
Wow.
1 point because
Just
of
for
the
1
multiple.
point.
So it's man, that extra category, extra denomination, man,
Right.
can create, because they all have multiples that they're all weighted differently, taste and texture and appearance. So
Okay.
but yeah,
That's-
and IBCA doesn't drop a score, CBA does. So
Yeah. I knew that was the big one, and I don't know why they don't. I mean, every other organization doing cumulative scores drops the low score.
Well, they would have to change a lot because their scoring system is 5 judges. CBA
Right.
scoring system is 6 judge, and we
6,
drop
yeah.
it.
Right.
So
right.
they would have to reprogram their whole judging system to incorporate a 6 judge.
I got you.
So-
I got
And
you.
I'm pretty
And they
sure,
did-
if I'm not mistaken, IBCA doesn't have a perfect score yet,
No,
unless I missed a post from somebody.
I don't think they
Yeah.
ever have. I don't think they
So
ever
no
have.
one's hit a 200.
Yeah. That's
Well, it's
crazy.
harder with that many. It's harder with that many variables.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
This
You
weekend might be that. With the amount of talent out there and the amount of judges, this weekend could be a first for somebody.
Yeah.
Well, you can turn in some barbecue that's really good and get nothing but 8s, because 8 means it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
That's true. That's
and
true.
and it's, somebody gives you an 8 and 8 and 8, that's good. But if they give the next guy, or a different table gives the next guy 9, 9, 9, then that's probably 3, 6. That's 9 points difference from one judge.
Yeah. That's
You know,
true.
and
That's
when
true.
you got a 200 score, that's just one judge given that many. It can be a 9-point swing between the 2 judges.
Yeah. That's true.
Mhm.
You go
All
from a
right,
hero
so-
to a zero real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So Alan has bought your class before, Bill, and he said he's heard, you say a few times that, sometimes you have to run a little bit different flavor profile. And I know that was one thing you had to do a little bit because you was getting beat up by everybody in your class, and you was scrambling to try to change something, and you was still getting beat by people that was taking your class. So you have tweaked a few little things, but
Yeah,
other than the
to me,
wrap, which we know that you're
very-
using your wraps now.
And barbecue is very fluid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like even this weekend, I taught a class, and man, I taught on what I'm actually doing right now, but what I'm doing a month from now, because I'm always, regardless of my results, if I don't like something, man, I'm always trying to change it. Or even if I like it and it doesn't hit, if it stops hitting, man, you got to make little tweaks. And I think
Little
kind of,
tweaks.
man, if I compare it to like if we were in a jelly contest and everybody's turning in grape jelly, then man, you go and you try maybe turning in a strawberry jelly, and it stands out a little bit,
Right,
and all of a
right.
sudden that means, well, when word gets out that, man, Bill won with strawberry jelly, now everybody's doing strawberry, and probably the grape may hit, So
Yeah. It's little
you know,
tweaks. It's little tweaks, and I
it
remember
is.
you. I remember you telling me, "It's like, ah, dang man, these damn students are beating my butt every time I turn around." And then you tried something, and I remember the last time we talked, like, man, I tried something a little dang different. And I guess I should have ran what I ran in the class because, man, I got my butt handed to me, and the guy had a first place brisket. So,
Well, and I think part of it too is, man, when you cook, like I cook every weekend, man, I get bored. I
yeah,
can't just go and do the exact same thing every weekend. So I'm always screwing around, looking at Walmart or HEB for different things that I can kind of look. Oh man, look at this honey. Let me taste this. And this honey tastes pretty good. Different brands of honey.
yeah,
Maybe I'll incorporate some of that. So there's, you're always, oh, look at this beef broth. Today I was in there. I've never used that kettle beef broth. Have you ever y'all seen that kettle, whatever it is, the bone broth?
no,
So it's a little bitty box. It's half the size of a 32 ounce. So it's 16 ounces.
right?
But it's like $7.
Wow, right?
And I'm looking at it today as I'm in there buying beef broth, and I'm like, man, that shit's 3 times as more than HEB. I'm not going to try it this weekend, but I will try it.
There you go.
Is
You don't know.
$7 bone broth any better than
Right.
freaking HEB?
That's right.
Because it's and I think somehow they popped up on my Instagram about being like, they've sold so much of this kettle bone broth, and man,
Right.
I've never tried it. So man,
Never
I
in
get
the
an
world.
itch, and sooner or later, man, I got to scratch the itch.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's what you have to do. All right, so we got a question here, Bill. What brand and size brisket will you be running this weekend?
I'll be running a Snake River Farms,
Okay,
and I don't know what size because Chopping Block is going to show up with it.
okay,
So,
okay.
So,
Gonna be a
man,
black or
it's gonna be a surprise.
black
It'll be
or
a gold.
gold.
It'll be a
Okay.
gold.
All right. Let's see what.
And I have another gold in my refrigerator that if for whatever reason, if I open up the one from the chopping block and it smells funky, I always got backups. So
Okay. Okay. That's.
and
a
I
good
think
way
the
to
one
do
I
it.
have in my and I think for San Antonio, because we're not separating, it's IBCA, you can't turn in burn ins. I think
Right.
you can get away with a little bit smaller of a brisket
Right.
and cook a little point meat with it,
Right.
and maybe turn in a slice that has a little point meat and a little flat meat together. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be a monster brisket for
Okay.
IBCA. So.
Okay. That's good. So if you have a brisket that ain't got too much fat between the point and the flat, will you leave a little bit of that point meat up underneath it?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll even take my knife if it's got a bunch of fat and I feel
Beat it
like
out.
man, I'll cut a little wedge out and sandwich it back together
Sandwich
so
together.
it's not
Yep.
so. But man, at the same time too, it's knife and fork, so those judges can go in there and cut off the piece they want, and
Right.
you got to have some kind of confidence that they're just not going to cut a big piece of fat if they don't like fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I remember
Oh my gosh.
I was in Marksville, and I don't know if you were there, but I think I reserved it one year, and I hit a first place brisket, and this was the ugliest thing in the world. It had a huge fat seam, and I showed it to Alan Freeman and Vivian, and Vivian's like, "That don't matter." She goes, "I've seen plenty of first place briskets with the big old fat seam. These judges go in there and they dig around with that knife and fork and peel out what they want." Sure enough, man, a huge fat seam hit first place. That's one thing I'll tell you is don't worry about appearance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's an echo chamber that we live in that cooks look at other boxes and we all look at each other's boxes. And man, the public ain't really looking at our boxes. They look at barbecue completely different.
That's it. That's right. And that's what we don't sometimes understand, because how many times have people posted, how the heck did this brisket get 5s, 6s? Like it's a beautiful.
It wasn't competition cooks judging it.
That was why. That's what it comes down to.
Because I think we all probably, I don't know, I'll speak for myself. When I first started, man, I thought my barbecue looked great. I'd post pictures, you know,
Right,
and
right.
sometimes I look at those now and go, "Oh God, man, I can't believe I posted that." You know,
Yeah.
because man, we're all in this echo chamber, and I see Aaron's chicken or Lee's or you know, and man, they're all beautiful, but man, the backyard people, they're just seeing what they're used to seeing. So,
Yeah, 100%.
and it ain't our stuff, you know.
It ain't our stuff. Yeah, you know that's why it didn't score good because they don't think that looks like brisket. You know, so. Oh my gosh, Jelly of the Month Club. Everybody's already everybody right now, I guarantee you they're gonna be putting strawberry preserves in their dang ribs this weekend.
Caesar asked what brand. It's gotta be chicken fried brand.
That's right, chicken fried brand. HEB has the goods. Let's see what else we got. Do most people have their own spot at San Antonio or cook for larger tents? I've tried and all they had was a $5,000 sponsor. That's basically what Lee was saying at the beginning. It's good about $5,000 to get you a spot there. So,
and is it $5,000 every year, Aaron? If you pay the $5,000 once, do you get cash for kids the next year?
No, yeah. So I paid $2,500 back in 22. So, once that's how I got in. But once you pay a sponsorship fee, you pay the cash for kids fee year after that. So I've had my own spot for 4 years again. Those last 4 years I've had my own spot. But
and do they keep going up on cash for kids every year?
it was $1,300 for I think 23, 24, and 25. Then 26 went to $1,500.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so I think
if you don't accept no more teams, you can't make no more money. So they got to go up on the fee that's already there.
I got you.
Yeah, so I think it was $5,000 sponsorship plus a $1,000 donation to start off with. Now it's $1,500 every year.
Wow.
Sure, it goes up again, but you pay that one time, and then you every year pay your $1,500 or whatever the price is going to be.
So here's a good question, and we're going to let Bill answer this because he did a little video the other day. Why do you think they're putting sauce on brisket these days? Back in the day, they never done that.
Because it wins. That's why.
There you go. That's all you had to say. It wins. Sometimes they want a little sauce on the brisket.
They weren't saucing the brisket. Then some guy walked up one day, put a little sauce on his brisket, hit first place, and it just dominated brisket. They're like, "What is he doing?" And probably like Jamie, go check the trash. There's barbecue sauce in a bottle, you know. So I mean, just because it was always like that, don't mean it's always going to be like that.
Right.
Someone's going to push the envelope. We're going to try something new, and next thing you know, it changes the rules a little bit and changes the game. So
yeah,
and I think it mimics what people get at a restaurant too. I think when most people go to a restaurant and order brisket, they get sauce on the side, and they may just dip a little bit in there with the brisket. And you know, if you get a chopped beef sandwich, you're going to have most people are going to have sauce, you know, on a brisket sandwich. But I think having the glaze on the top actually mimics people. The bite of a piece of brisket, a little bit of sauce, and you know, with knife and fork, there's no bowl in there to do a little sauce taste. So, man, I get comments all the time. Man, I love the sauce. Yeah, you know, I get comment in CBA. You know, they can hand type comments, and man, I get it all the last couple of cook-offs, man. Ever since I released chicken fried sauce,
yeah.
I've been getting a lot of comments. I love the sauce, which is great, man. It's encouraging. You know, to get that when you put your own sauce on something. So
heck yeah.
That
is absolutely. Bill, tell us real quick about the wraps. I know you've got the peach wrap was the first one. Your beef wrap was the first one, and that has just been absolutely dominating in brisket. And then you came out with the peach wrap for the ribs and pork. And now you just came out with an apple one. And
there's so many different flavor profiles out there, and I've had teams request a cherry apple because they like cherry apple. Some teams don't like peach. Some teams like apple. Some teams, man, I've had this request to do a cherry apple. So, man, I'm going to release a cherry apple and probably in the next month and a half, just because, man, there's a demand when I've got 3 different teams going, man, I wish you had a cherry apple wrap. And I'll come out with one. And
a lot of teams,
apple cherry is a big one. Yeah.
So it's just I've also got a pineapple too that's probably going to release at the same time. Just because I've had that request. Man, I love pineapple. You know.
Right.
Right. So you know all these cooks are mad scientists that come up with their own concoctions. You know, and they're doing their own deal with these different wraps and liquids. And I hear about it. You know, man, a lot of them will funnel back to me. Hey, man, I used your peach in my injection and I hit a first place rib, or I used your apple in my injection. I hit a first place rib. I think
Right.
the main thing is obviously cooking it right,
Yeah.
and having good flavor and not being too much. But, you got to cook something that you like too, because there's definitely a lot of people that don't like peach,
Yeah. 100%.
So, yeah.
You can tell
100%.
Slade right there. Just take the class.
Take the
We have a
class.
lot of classes on barbecue champs. He can look at any of them and he'll get his answers answered.
But I mean, Lucas is, man. He puts in the comments he uses a shit ton of apple cherry. Apple
Yeah.
cherry's it's a popular flavor amongst the circuit. So
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a cherry apple wrap for sure. So.
Cherry apple. Okay. So you've got that. Now tell us.
Kind is a lot more than a imperial chicken, just so you know.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit of. Say that again, Lee.
No. I'm just being silly because he's over in Australia. They use metric.
Oh,
So he uses
metric.
a metric ton and not an imperial ton.
I got you. Tell us about the new sauce, Bill. When did you come out with that?
Man, I guess it's been out maybe a little over maybe a month.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I want to get to the point, and I'm probably, and probably much like Aaron, I'm sure Aaron gets in there and uses a lot of his own stuff, man, I wanted to have a sauce that I could use at comps, and man, I don't have to get it from the grocery store, or I don't have to order it online. I could just pull it out of my trailer and use my own sauce. So equally saying, man, my social media presence has gotten so much bigger, and I get a lot of comments of like, hey, can you, man, what sauce? And now I can point those people and just buy my sauce.
There you go. That's smart.
So, man, it's just trying to, I do this for a living. So,
yeah,
man, if I can come out with a sauce that tastes pretty good, and which, man, I think it tastes great.
Yep, it's winning.
I still mix it. I'm not running. I run chicken with it by itself, but I'm still mixing it with a lot of the flavor profiles that Blues Hog or Slaps or even Heath Ryle. So, and even like I said, Phil's just come out with a sauce. So, man, I'm going to incorporate that guy into my program too. I mean, not wholly just running my sauce on every meat, but man, it is on every meat, and it's mixed with a sauce on every meat for sure.
There you go.
Tell you one thing, Mr. Bill Purvis, from where you were 5 years ago in barbecue to where you are now, you're on your way to being like Malcolm Reed and Heath Riles in the seasoning and sauce world. I mean, congratulations, proud of you, man. You've done well. The first day I met you, man, your personality, your spirit of the barbecue, your love, your enthusiasm, you're willing to learn and to teach. Man, God's blessed you, and you blessed all of us as well, being around you and just being part of your barbecue network as well. So thank you for what you've done for the barbecue world.
Yeah,
man, I'm having fun, Lee. And I'm like I said, I'm having fun, and man, if I don't have to go get a real job, and if it can be fun, and it has been fun for me to, but at the same time too, man, I really want to grow competition barbecue because, man, I can call Lee Hickle anytime, day or night, and man, I haven't seen Lee in I don't know how long. It's been probably over a year. But if I need something, I know I can call Lee. I know I can call Aaron. And those are trophies that barbecue gave me, and I didn't know they were going to give me. So I want to grow the sport. I want to grow, and I want to promote not just my own rubs and my own seasoning, but the sport itself, because of so much more that happens within our community. And I absolutely love the community. Man, the people are great. I've met so many good people in barbecue, and man, I just think I wish I would have found it earlier instead of finding it when I was, in my late 40s. I wish I'd have found it in my 30s. I see Alonzo, Gulf Coast Smoke. He's in his 30s. And man, he's got, man, Alonzo's got plenty of time. And man, he's grinding away. Which, man, I'm super excited for him and his journey. But yeah, I just think the whole community is just, man, that's the real prize in all of it.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
we're all going to walk. We're all going to win. We're all going to get our butts kicked. It's just,
part of it.
Like I think a buddy of mine said he was on Hawaii. He was on an island, and he lost his girlfriend. And the guy said, "Man, you didn't lose your girl. You just lost your turn."
Yeah. That's right.
And I think that's the way it is in competitions. If I go somewhere and Aaron wins, man, I just lost my turn. It was Aaron's turn to win.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
I'll get my turn around. I just need to keep showing up. You know,
That's
Someplace.
it. You keep cooking enough, you'll get it there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. That's the same thing. I mean, that's what I'm so excited about with, you know, and one of the real visions of Barbecue Champ was I wanted the sport to grow. And because, man, when I got in it, man, all the guys that I was looking up to when I was getting my butt kicked by them, all of a sudden we started doing better, and then they weren't wanting to cook as much. And I'm just like, man, I don't want to see these guys, you know, quit. I mean, I just wanted a platform because some people may not want to go to an in-person class. Now, man, here's a platform. You can go take a class. And next thing you know, I mean, it's just grown beyond my wildest dreams. And because of people like you three, I mean, Barbecue Champs is nothing without the Pitmasters that we have. I just gave the platform for like, hey, look, let's do this and let's grow the sport of barbecue. And man, what a difference it's made. So, I mean, any competition I ever go to, I swear, it seems like I know there's at least 15 people in that place that's taking classes. If that's just 40, 45 teams there's 15 or 20 people in there that I know is taking classes. Well, that makes you know, iron sharpens iron, right? And man, I mean, these guys, if they've been sharpening their swords watching some of these videos, and you know, it's turned out to be something absolutely great. So, and man, thank you guys for being part of Barbecue Champs, because none of it would even be happen. So blood makes you related, barbecue makes you family. Yeah, that is a great saying right there, Carl. Man alive, that's a good saying, brother. So, well, Bill, man, we wish you all the luck in the world this weekend. Aaron, same to you. Lee, y'all go out, represent, kick some butt, take some names. And, man, I can't wait to see how it all turns out. I hope you guys get a banner or a buckle, one of the two.
I hope I'm feeling a lot better by Thursday.
You will be, I promise you. Just get to being better, man. I promise you this, when you turn into that parking lot, all that crap's going to go away. You're going to feel great.
Yeah, I got enough medication.
I promise you this, Aaron. When they call your little number out, everything you felt before is going to leave. And you're going to be hooting and hollering all the way to the stage, baby.
Yeah, he will. 100% he will. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody being on tonight. Bill, congratulations, man, to the success you've had, and good luck this weekend. Lee, Aaron as well. Thank everybody for being here. And one more time, we're getting ready to close it out. I'll just check my Facebook page. We got 16 people that hit the share button. It's right down there in the bottom right corner. Hit the share button. It's right there. Hit the share button. We're going to have a great show for you guys next week. Already looking at some new great guests to have on. And I hope everybody's enjoyed the show. Man, as we always say, y'all go out there, have a lot of fun.